And I talked about this as well the last time. This is the huge change of language, language in the sense that how we use some words, some phrases, like the SMS language. This started with the old phones. I mean, this started with those old Nokia phones and with this touchpad like LG and so on, and you and typing was, or SMS typing was really exhausting. So this meant that you had to use a lot of abbreviations and of course emojis, especially with the smartphone area, has become very popular. So it has become some, you can express with one emoji more than you can express with words. And this was one of the issues. And of course, another issue what the internet brought with it is, of course, before everyone talked about globalization, but thereafter globalization, especially with the online retailers, became very vivid. Globalization is some sort of was even closer, you might think. And another change came with the internet and with the social media was some sort of a new platform of self-exhibition. This is what you can see. I mean, if you today see some people's Facebook sites as well as some people's Instagram pages, I mean, there is a lot of private content, or people wanna be like this. I mean, this is always, you never know. Like I said before, as a millennial, you never really know is this true or not. But however, there are a lot of private informations on these social media platforms, which would be beyond a doubt, or rather embarrassing for baby boomers to really expose oneself, and it has some sort of became an ego, an ego to exhibit yourself. This means some sort of, you could say, an obsession. You are obsessed with yourself. This is some sort of an ego obsession. What would be probably before that, or before the rise of the internet, people probably would have called it vulgar and plain and so on, and somehow sort of flashy. But now, if you expose yourself on the internet, it is rather being considered healthy if you have a healthy body, or if you are not healthy as well. I mean, if you are have if you are, this is something you still see. If you are somehow do not fit these standards of beauty, people still expose themselves even naked. And as well as this is the definition of beauty, then of course being human. So if you are you approachable, you do not have to be physically close to other people, yet you still are being yet you are still approachable on the internet. You are amicable, you care for your followers, you answer their questions, and this goes beyond boundaries and so on. But what is very, very important is in this entire self-exhibition, and this is that the person, the individuum, is in the center of all attention. So we have become internet as well as social media has made us some sort of more egoists. So everything, every like is not meant for a group. Every like or every approval you get on social media, it is always for one specific person, for one specific action. So you have some sort of become an ego fetish. You want more of it. You are some sort of self-obsessed with yourself, like Narcissus in an ancient Greek myth. You're obsessed with your own view, obsessed with how you are being perceived in on the web, on social media. And of course, this is as one thing I wanted to share as well, that internet and this in general, the crumbling down of borders, and that everything has to be ever available right now. Think about same day delivery. Think about you can satisfy your needs immediately, and this has some sort of changed in how we perceive time. So things become very fast. For example, there is a very uh, famous joke of Ronald Reagan that in Russia you would have to wait for a car 10 or 20 years, and for the plumber as well. I mean, however, this has changed a lot in internet, and how we get satisfaction for our needs or for our wants has changed significantly. So we have become uh, some sort of faster. Everything is moving faster, and you are somehow struggling to take up pace. I will talk about this in detail, especially of my youth. I mean, what was it when you grew up with Windows 95, and then you always would witness all these changes and so on. And another change with internet, or which comes with social media as well as with the internet, was that through social media your social and family structures changed. I mean, think about Facebook, how many real friends you have on Facebook. I mean, of course, today this friendship, or what does really mean friendship, has changed significantly. I mean, you can have thousands of friends on Facebook, or whatever you want on social media, and yet you are not really close with them. I mean, before the rise of social media, friendship meant something different. Uh, would mean something you are physically in contact with someone, whereas today you rather Skype or whatever, or call yourself through Facebook. You are not physically engaged in friendships, or as well as you are partially, and this is one has to be always marked, you are not emotionally, or this closeness of friendship on Facebook is actually different in that sense, that it is not emotionally invested anymore. It is no emotional closeness. You follow each other differently, or how many times this happened. If you meet someone once in a party, you befriend him fence on Facebook, but never again meet him. And of course, despite the fact, or this would be called rather in those old days, one would call something like that, like this, an acquaintance. Yeah, you just met someone, and yet you are already befriended on Facebook, and because of this self exhibition, you get to know a lot of private, intimate things about this person. In the past, this would have taken you longer, so you would have been longer to be around with someone, as well as if you wanna or if you are interested in a girl or a man, or whatever. And in the past, it would have taken for you a while to get information about this person, but now, to this day, or now, you just have to Google it, or have to see on Facebook, and you have all private information of this person whatsoever, your photos and friends. You know someone's friends anymore. You know his family, where he lives, his house, even his interior design. Some make selfies in their home. I do too. So, so this means this intimacy has changed, as well as social structures. Or you can be emotionally close with someone whom you have never met before. Think of think about virtual reality. Everyone around the world is connected with you, but this is one important thing one has to highlight is that you can be befriend, or that your friends are not solely those people you grow up with anymore. This was partially in my youth the case, that most of the friends you had were either your relatives or people you grew up with. Whereas with the internet, this has changed. I mean, you could have friends all over the world, no matter whether you meet them on it. This family structure has changed. And of course, this is one important issue, which I think I will only talk in shortly about. And this is that especially social media has created its own value system with likes and dislikes, because you pretty much depend on this approval. This is one word for this means social acceptability. So, it has, you do not, or partially you have, this is some sort of a contradiction. This means that you, in a way, the individuum, your ego is in the center. Nevertheless, you depend on likes and social acceptability. So you somehow are being influenced by these likes and these somehow this social acceptance then becomes a value system, in that sense that how many likes you get, or how many likes an action gets, this is socially acceptable, as well as real mm, real or that we do not ask what is really being done. I mean, of course, this is a very the old discussion between utilitarism. This is in the philosophy between utilitarism, utilitaristic ethics, and deontological ethic. However, but what is important to notice, that this new value system is some sort of artificial value system in a virtual world. It is distance from reality, so it is in a world in its own. This new value system on social media has its foundation not in the reality anymore, or to say it simple, you cannot prove it or whatsoever. And this has again comes with a change, and with as well as our moral values, and what we do think about right and wrong. This has indeed changed as well, and one reason for this is social acceptability. So this was a very brief acceptance. I mean, it will take a couple of episodes that we have to, or where we will talk about the social conditions and implications of millennials, how they grow up, or not only the millennials, but of this age we are in. This new age. There is no name for it yet, and however, we don't need to bother ourselves with it. And today again we somehow it took a bit longer, but it was important to say. And the next time we will continue. This was Adam Kirbas from Ordu in Turkey. I hope you all are getting through the pandemic well and take care of yourselves. Bye.